Hello, and happy holidays. One of the things I've been doing lately, since it's the end of the year, looking into changing some things up a little bit and making things a little more interesting for the new year. As many of you know, I have a number of apps that I created. One of them is my Eyecon, which is one-on-one video communication tool. And Eyecon has a special feature, music feature. When I start a meeting, I can click on the music icon, and what it'll do, it'll start playing one of, I think I have like 6 files right now, 6 MP3 files, and my favorite tunes basically. I figured new year, why not look into potentially changing up some of these tunes for something else? Because it's not like I only like 6 tunes out of the universe of all the music out there. So I went to Gemini and I said, how well do you know my taste in music? And it started writing stuff about Beatles and some other stuff, but it didn't know everything. I said, actually, Jazz Fusion is what my favorite actually is. And I uploaded my 6 files that I'm playing. I said, give me 10 new YouTube video links for something that would be like the other tunes. So it went through and it went and listed a bunch of stuff. I'm not going to bore you with the details. Bottom line is it came up with these 10 videos for me, which is great. That's what I asked it. Many of them are very similar to the kind of stuff I listen to, and that's awesome. It did a pretty good job. If you need to come up with something like this for yourself, you give it some information about what kind of stuff you like, and it'll give you all kinds of choices. Very useful. Then I said, give me the list of those, just the URLs. I didn't really want anything else. I just wanted the URLs to these videos. And it gave me the list here, as you can see, 10 videos. And I said, great. Then I said, can you convert these to MP3? And it came back saying, I cannot convert the YouTube links into MP3 files or download media for you. I'm an AI text model, do not have capability to generate blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that was obviously what I need is I need MP3, so it means I would have to look for some sort of a conversion tool which would be doable, but obviously a hassle. Go find the conversion tool, plug the video file into it, get the MP3, stick it in my icon, all that stuff would need to be done. Okay, so that's one situation here. The second situation is I've been creating all these little videos using AI, and they're all 8 seconds long, 5 seconds long, something like that. In something like Midjourney, you can go in, you can actually extend the video, so you basically can create a longer video instead of just a number of short videos. But most other tools like Veo, Grok, a bunch of other ones, they don't allow you to create long videos. You just create a short video, and if you want to create 100 of them, fine. But then you need to piece them together somehow. So that's also a little bit of a hassle. I came up with kind of my own tool for putting together videos. But you know, if you start building a tool for every single thing you want to do, you're going to have hundreds and hundreds of different tools, and you have no idea which ones are for what purpose, how to find them. I mean, it becomes a little chaotic. So that's not really the solution. It's a solution, but not the solution. So then I came across a tool, actually a company called Cisdem, which is a German company, I believe, and they are actually sponsors of this video today. So, you know, full disclosure, they're sponsoring this video. And so when I looked at what features and capabilities they had, I thought this is pretty incredible that you can do all these things in a single app. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you some of the features they have. I'm not going to show you all of them because there's too much to cover. And they have a lot of functionality. And a lot of functionality is exceptional in terms of what they're doing. But at the same time, there are some things they can do to improve the app. I think they should just hire me for consulting, you know, tell them exactly what to fix. No, but seriously, they do have an excellent tool for many things I was looking for. And so let's just dive right into it, and I'll show you exactly what it does and how it works. So it's called Cisdem. I hope I pronounced it correctly. And it looks something like this. Okay, you can see it right there. First, I kind of got lost because you have these things on the bottom here, and then you have these things at the top here, and you have this thing called start and merge. And in other words, it's all foreign to me. I can try to figure out what it does, but I really, to be honest with you, I couldn't. Not everything that they're doing here. So one of the things that I think they could do to make it better is make it more user-friendly in terms of showing people what they can do with this. And for example, over here, if you hover over any of these icons here, if you click on them, they'll actually do something. But if you hover over them, they don't show you anything. And just by the images alone, no way anybody can figure out what these are supposed to mean. So definitely, as a minimum, you should have a little tooltips. But over here it tells you, it says drag your videos or audio files to convert them. So that's one of the first things it does. It allows you to convert video audio files, which is exactly what I was looking for. I want to be able to take MP4 files and convert them to MP3. First, I need to get them though. And that's another problem, that if you go to YouTube, for example, let's go to YouTube, and we got one of the videos I like, and you can pull down the menu here. It says download. So you get all excited, and when you click on it, it says, oops. It says you can only download if you have YouTube Premium, which I don't have, and I don't want to get YouTube Premium just to download videos. So that's the end of that possibility. Basically, if I wanted to convert this video to MP3, I would first need to have it. Okay? So to have it, I need to download it. And so at this point, I can't really do anything. I just need to download it first. So it just happens to be that I know now that the third icon is the downloader. You put the video in there, and then you click on plus, and it says add URLs and add private URLs. It's handy, but not what I want. So if you hit on this plus, then it actually starts doing it. So that's, like I said, some of the UI features that they have, they need to upgrade to make it easier for users to use. The good news is it went ahead and stuck it in there in this main work area for me, shows what kind of format it is, the resolution, how long it is, and how much space it eats up, and what format it's in right now. Okay, so very, very useful. And so for me to be able to download it, all I have to do is click on this little download button, and then shortly, relatively shortly, we're gonna see this video being downloaded, and then we will actually see it, see, as you can see over here, we will see it in this location here, which you can change to be whatever you want. So I'm just gonna open it up, and I can see that I have a file there, right there, Alan Caron, and it's 40, almost 46 megabytes in size, 6 minutes. We double click to make sure it's working. And it's working. Okay, so the next step, let's move this aside here. We got our video, and now that I downloaded it, now I can actually go and convert it. So I can click on that first icon back, I can drag my video here, and now I can do conversion. As you can see over here, it says MP3, so it's going to go from MP4 to MP3, and it's going to be about 2 megabytes in size. If I click on this MP3, I can actually change it to any of these variants. Okay, so I could do MP4 video in 4K resolution. I can do same as source, which would be the same thing, obviously. I can do a number of different formats, both in audio and video, that I can output this video into, which is super handy. In my case, I do want MP3, so I'm just going to go with MP3, and I'm going to go ahead and say start. And so you can see how quickly it actually does the job. And now that it did the job, let's jump to the folder where it's at, right there. And if we click on it, okay, it's playing the music, and we can see it's exactly the same thing. And we can see it's an MP3 file, 2.8 megabytes, beautiful. So that's exactly what I wanted, okay, exactly what I wanted. So the next step in this process, like I showed you, of what I'm trying to do, I don't want to do one file at a time. Locate it, download it, and then convert it. What else can we do? One of the things that really slick that they have is download a bunch of them. And so the way that does, if you go to downloader, which is the third icon, and click on the plus on the left side, then it says add URLs. And what I can do here, I put this little list of these things. Let's take these, let's say 4 videos, because right now they're videos. These are just YouTube URLs. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to do all of them just so it's faster. And I'm going to jump back into the VideoPaw here, and I'm going to paste them so you can see it's the same exact videos. And then I'm going to go ahead and say do it. So now it's doing the same exact thing, except it's doing it on 4 videos instead of 1 video. And then I'll be able to go in, as you can imagine, pull those directly in the conversion part and create my MP3s. So it makes it very simple. I can just select all the music I want, download the videos, drop them into here, convert them to MP3, and I'm done. I can just put them in Eyecon and I'm ready to go, which is awesome. I mean, that's the thing. I was looking for something like that to be able to do this, and it does an excellent job converting these things. Okay? And so now that I've got these here, what I can do is I can download all of them, and I can actually click and select them all by clicking in these little checkboxes here. As you can see, by default, they're all selected. So for me to download all of them, all I have to do is simply click on Start, maybe change directory. But in this case, let's just see what's in the directory. We have a few files. I'm going to go ahead and delete them. So now, just to show you, the directory is empty. And I'm going to go ahead and click on Start. And you will see, as it starts doing it, these little circles are going to start going. Let's put this one down here so it's easier to see. And you can see it says this folder is empty, but as it starts going, it's going to start converting them at the same time. Difference is obviously they're different sizes, so it's going to take, in some cases, it's going to take longer. Some cases, like this one, is 2 hours and 44 minutes, so obviously it's going to take a lot longer to convert that one. But you can see the smaller ones, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, these convert very quickly, in seconds, literally. Okay? So one of the things that unfortunately it doesn't do is if I click on stop, it'll stop converting. If I click on start, it's going to start from the beginning. So one of the things I wish Cisdem would change in the future, and my guess is they probably will, is ability to restart the download and big downloads from the point that you ended. Obviously, it's a little bit more hassle for them to be able to track all this stuff, but it'll make it much, much easier for people to download, especially if you have a relatively slow connection. You only have time to download, a quarter of the file. It makes it easier. This way, you have to actually go from beginning to end. I just want to do it so you can see that it's not immediate, but at the same time, the smaller files are much, much quicker to download and subsequently convert as well. Okay, so I'm going to fast forward the video here until we get done, and then we'll continue. Okay, it looks like it's wrapping up now, and it looks like it took roughly around 10 minutes for a file this size, so it's almost 3-hour long video. It took about roughly 10-12 minutes for it to convert. With that being the case, let's jump into the folder where these files are. It's not quite done yet, but getting close. And we're done, and so here are our 4 files right there, and currently they eat up how much? Let's see if we select them all. According to Windows, we have 4 items, about 3.98 gigabytes. So almost 4 gigabytes in storage. We have the files now. We can convert them. We can do whatever we want to do with them. Play them, save them, share them, whatever. And it's able to go to, I think they said like something around 1,000 different video websites and download just about any format you can imagine, video and audio. Super useful, super convenient, and for the most part, except for these trivial things that I mentioned, it's very handy to have something like that. So now that we have the files, what else can we do with this? So we talked about converting them. Also, what they can do is drag your DVDs or Blu-rays here to convert them. And the beauty about this part, which I haven't actually tried, but it also is able to convert protected DVDs, because a lot of DVDs have special protection, so you can't easily download and convert them. This thing will do it. If you have DVDs from the old days or even Blu-rays and you want to make digital copies of them so you can have a backup copy in case they get ruined or lost, or just to be able to play it in your computer without using the discs, this is the excellent option to have to be able to convert them. Again, I haven't tried this. I'm sure because their other conversions work so well, this would work as well. Probably take a while to do it because it's so much data that needs to be converted. But most of the things that this program does, it does pretty quickly. The third icon here says drag your videos, audio files to compress them. So if we took those 4 files that we downloaded, dropped them in here. So these are the 4 files I got. Like I said, altogether they were about 4 gigabytes in size. I mean, fairly sizable. So if we go ahead and select them all, and the way to select here, unfortunately, is not with little check boxes like on the other screen. which makes it inconsistent, but I hope that they look at this and fix it. You can just click on it, and then you can do shift click on the last one, and it'll select all of them. And so once they're all selected, now I can actually work on them. You can specify the percentage of compression. So you can go, let's use the default 70%. This little plus here allows you to select files directly from here, but you can also drag them just like I did. Once we're done, and we know which folder, we can click on the URL to change it to be whatever we want, but we can also use the default, which I'm going to use. If I click on the arrow to go to that folder, it'll jump into that folder. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of everything I've done before. So we start with a clean slate. So now there's nothing there in that folder. And we click on start. It's 2:33 p.m. Let's see how long it takes. So we're compressing it, we're converting it as it's going through the motions. We'll have to wait a little bit. And again, that file that was huge, obviously is going to take longer, but the little guys should be fairly quick. We converted already the 6-minute file. We converted another 6-minute file, but this one was 640 by 480 resolution. This one is 1080 by 1080, so that's why it took longer to process. And you can see it going from 20 megabyte to 7.2, maybe 14 even at the highest levels, they're giving you a range. But the bottom line being that's definitely, even if it's 14, it's a lot smaller than 20. And 18 becomes 12 if we use the main conservative approach. And look at the worst case scenario, it's going to go from 18 to 12. This one's going to go from 19 to 13, and this one will go from 3.9 gigabyte to 2.7 gigabytes. But potentially it'll be better, and it's going to be somewhere around half. And so that's a substantial savings on disk. This is why this should be seriously considered as a tool, because a lot of times we generate a lot of files, and all these files eat up space, and then next thing you know, you're out of disk space, and then you put in a flash drive, and then it gets lost, and just on and on and on. If you can compress the files to get them smaller, then you can get a lot more value for your hard drive by utilizing compressed versions of the files. Same goes for sharing it with other people. If you need to share something, also makes a huge difference how long it takes for the file to transfer to the other person, also storage on their end. So compression is huge, and it's very, very useful, and it's something that absolutely everybody should be using. The problem is a lot of times if you get some kind of compression tool which allows you to do it usually on one, sometimes on multiple files, it's not as convenient as this tool here because everything is here. Now I can go to YouTube, I can drop in a bunch of URLs at one point, I can download all of them, and I can go and compress them all, and then I can go and convert them to whatever other format I want to convert. In my case, it would be to MP3 is what I need to do, so I don't really need to compress them. But in case of other people, you might want to compress them so you can send them to other people in a smaller way. But so all these tools, compression, conversion, downloading, all of it done in a single program, which is extremely helpful and extremely handy, in my opinion. Okay, so where are we at? Let's wait a little bit. So it's been 3 minutes, and it looks like 2 of them are done, and 2 of them are still going. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward the video. So now we've got all of these files converted, and we can move to the next step, which would be to see how much space they eat up. So we bring up the display of the directory compressed, and we can see that these 4 files eat up about 2.5 gigabytes, where just one of them used to be 4 gigabytes. So basically we're talking about roughly almost half has been compressed. In many cases it's very useful to be able to compress these videos like this and then be able to save a bunch of disk space and still have the video. So that's the key. Let's say we take the Cassiopeia video, the long one, and play just to make sure it plays okay. So this is, I'm playing the compressed version. Can't really tell the difference. Let's jump a little bit forward. And get some music in here. So the sound quality is great. The video, you can see a little bit of artifacts there, but it's still totally usable considering how much space you save. One other thing I wanted to show you was the last part here. It says drag your videos to enhance them. I thought this is awesome. So let's say we take a video that was a little bit smaller. We're not going to be a big one. Let's take this one, drag it in here. Then the media starts playing immediately. Okay, so that sounds good. That's fine. But over here we have options. It says video upscaler, and also we have video noise remover. And over here it says model type real world or speed oriented anime. Let's say we use real world. Let's say we want to upscale it 2 times and still keep up MP4. So we click on start and nothing happens. Sorry about saying and 3 times, but nothing happens. My guess is some kind of a new feature they haven't really implemented yet, because the first time I ran it, says, do you want to download the AI attachment plugin, whatever they call it? And I said, yeah, go ahead. So it downloaded it, so it has it. But now whenever I start to do this part, this is what I get. As you can see, it just shows supposedly 7 hours, 42 minutes, 30 seconds, which is a ridiculous amount of time. I'm assuming that's what it means. I don't know if it's 7 minutes, 42 seconds or 7 hours, 42 minutes. Whatever it is, it's not moving anywhere. This is not updating, and I don't think it's going anywhere. The only other feature I wanted to show you is a feature that allows you to edit existing videos. So if you click on this little edit icon right here at the top right corner, then it starts immediately playing, which it shouldn't. I didn't really want to play it. But you have ability to use these little markers here to crop it. So you can make it shorter on either side. It's like very basic editing capabilities. You're able to crop it. A lot of times you do a video and it has black bars on the side, depending which tool you're using. It's an easy way to just crop those out and resave the video that way. So very handy, very useful. Rotate. The idea is you can rotate left, as you can see what it does here, which is great. Rotate again, third time, but you cannot get back to the original state. Like at this point I click rotate left and it doesn't go left anymore. If I click one more time, it actually flips it like 2 times left. If I rotate it right, it rotates it to this. For some reason it refuses to go back to the original state, even though I keep clicking on it. So it rotates all the other ways, but not into the original state. And then you can do flip H, meaning flip horizontal, and also flip V, which is flip vertical. So that works fine. And they have the reset button here, so if you click on it, it's supposed to reset, but it doesn't seem to work right now. I'm sure they'll fix all these things. These are just little tiny things that need to be fixed. And another thing I noticed that when I click on apply to all, it doesn't seem to do it when I did the watermark. You can have a piece of text that you type in here. So I can type in something like PCS, for example. And if I select, you can select different font sizes and styles, which is very convenient. And then you can also select the color of how you want the color to be. You can see right here is a little PCS right there. You can also control transparency. So you can see this is up here, you can see it's more visible, and over here it's less visible. You can also use this little box to position it anywhere you want as a little watermark. And then if you click save, once you click on start here to do the process, it's going to go ahead and make these changes. So that's useful, definitely useful. The fact that it starts playing immediately is not useful, but hopefully it'll fix it. You can also do watermarks with images, and the images are whatever you want to have from your disk. You can select your logo. Like in my case, let's say I wanted to go to PCS logo here, something like that, and it just drops it right there like that. This happens to be a transparent file, and you can adjust the position of it. You can shrink it or expand it. The only problem is it doesn't do it with the ratio of the original image, which is something they hopefully will fix soon, because nobody wants to simply skew or do this to their logos. You want to actually adjust it to be smaller or bigger, but the ratio needs to stay. You can control transparency there. You can make it barely transparent. You can make it more transparent, whatever you want to do. And again, the apply all doesn't seem to work. You can also have different effects, like they have brightness, contrast, saturation, tint, temperature. You can also add some subtitles, and I didn't try it. I'm sure it probably works fine. And you can put in chapters if you're doing DVDs. You can also control the volume, so you can do fade-ins and fade-outs, and you can also control the overall volume. If it's too loud, you can make it so it's not so loud. So nice little editing capabilities for video and audio. Not anything that would replace high-end video editing software, but definitely for some basic tweaks like this, it's definitely useful and usable. And of course, you can convert it to whatever format you want as part of it, and then when you click on start, it'll save it, and that's going to be the video. One final thing I'm going to show you, I have a bunch of little short videos I created using AI, and those are nice, but they're short, and a lot of times I want to put them together into a single longer video. So if you create like a bunch of scenes, for example, it would be nice to do that. And this is where Cisdem comes up very handy. Let's go ahead and grab some MP4s here. I don't know, maybe 4 files like this. Let's do 4 videos. Okay, so we got 4 videos, and we're not going to be converting them or anything like that. We're just going to simply create one video using this merge function on the bottom. So you need to check the checkbox next to the merge. Then my end result, I want it to be MP4s, not MP3s. Here I have to go one by one, or I have to select down here. I guess I could also do this. I could select MP4, same as the source, and then it changes them. So it's easier when you're doing multiple to do down here than selecting each one. But also, if I do select just this one to be MP3, it'll still create it as MP4. This is something that's a little confusing here because you're able to select for all, and also you'll be able to select individual, and it doesn't seem like it's coherent. Hopefully it'll fix that as well. All right, let's go ahead. Now we got everything set. Let's look at the directory, make sure we have nothing there. And so this is the directory right there. It's empty. Let's go ahead and select all of them, and then go click on start, and merge is selected. So it does this. It says merging. You can see it's super fast, but then you cannot get back to these files. Now, if you close here, it'll close the entire app. And so the only way you can get back to where you were, seemingly, unless I don't know how to get to it, is by clicking this show in Explorer. Then it gets you the screen back, and then it shows in Explorer the file it created. So let's go ahead and play it and see if it put them all together. Okay, so it looks like it did a good job putting all those together. Sound and video, everything is right on the money, so excellent. So those are not all the features. It has a lot of features, but I went through all the main ones. Like I said, it definitely needs to be improved a little bit on the UI side, but the functionality of what you can do, being able to easily download any format audio video from just about any website out there, being able to convert it to any audio or video format of your choice, being able to compress these files, do a little bit of editing all in a single app, I think it's exceptional. So definitely recommend this particular product, not because they're sponsors of this video, but because it really is useful. I'm definitely going to be using it. And if you need those kind of capabilities, I think it's an excellent software to get. To make it super special, they have extended a 20% discount for anybody watching my videos. So if you'd like to get this with the 20% off, which is a fairly substantial discount, just look for the code and use that code and you'll get 20% off. I'd like to thank Cisdem for sponsoring this video and giving me an excellent new tool that I can use going forward for all my endeavors. And hopefully it'll make some changes, and then I'm looking forward to the updates, and we'll do another video in the future showing all the new things they've done. Hopefully you can get it, you can play with it. It doesn't cost anything to try it, and if you decide to purchase this, it's again 20% off using the code below. With that said, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm gonna go create my new MP3 files. I'll also link to their website right here below the video, and you can look and see they have a lot more tools than just this particular piece of software. They have all kinds of utilities here, as you can see. They have a bunch of multimedia products, including the VideoPaw that we just looked at. Also, they have PDF solutions, various PDF related apps, and you can just go to their store from here and purchase whatever you'd like or download it. And this is the page for VideoPaw, which allows you to do a free download here for Windows and for the Mac. The latest version right now is 5.00, and make sure you get any updates as they come up. And that's it. Happy holidays, everybody, and until next time, I'm Oleg.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.